All right. Aloha and welcome to the 10th annual I Teach 808 Empowering Hawaii's Teachers in Technology Conference, sponsored by Augustine Educational Foundation and Sacred Hearts Academy, Honolulu. My name is Laurie Warren, and I'll be facilitating this session. We're so honored to have Noah Myers here with us today. He's going to share his expertise through his presentation, and its name is 10 Ways to Use Google Forms in the Classroom. Please be aware that we're recording this session. If you don't like being recorded, you can consider turning off your camera like it is, or you can review the recording afterwards. The recording will be made available on YouTube and shared on our I Teach 808 website a week after this event. And I'll put the website in the chat right now for your reference. And then without further ado, I'll turn it over to Noah.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Lauren. I just changed my title right now.
Oh,
don't tell anybody. No.
Okay.
All right. I changed everything else but the title. Oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed. Hi guys, my name is Noah Myers. I'm a computer science teacher at James Campbell High School. This is my 10th year teaching. I was just talking to Lauren about that right now. And it's just been such a wild ride and it's so fun. But I'm happy to share with you guys experience that I've gained through just being a nerd, straight up, and learning techie stuff, because it's made my life easier, and I hope it can do the same for you. I pasted a link to the Google Slides for your reference if you want them. It'll ask you to make a copy of them, and that way it's your own copy. You can mess with it. You're not gonna break mine. And you can have it in your Google Drive for reference whenever you need it, okay? But yeah, it's just this stuff in front of you as you see it right now. Charlene and Kelly, thank you so much for showing up. How you guys doing? You good? You can use the chat, you can use voice, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm back.
I know. What's up, Kelly? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. My daughter's saying hi. All right, so let's get this pod started. Grab that link, make your own copy if you want it. And yeah, Google Forms, just as a quick spiel before we dive into this. I used to be an English teacher in the baby days of my pedagogy, and I would use pen and paper for just about everything. And it's good, you know, those are good skills to have, good resources for sure. But when it comes to getting and storing information, Google Forms has made my life so much easier. Whether it's just little surveys, whether it's quizzes, checking in on my students, tardy passes, there's anything you have to ask a question and get information that you need to refer to later. Google Forms is that tool. It's so helpful, it's so easy, and it just makes life easier for us teachers. So I hope you guys get something out of this that you can take to your classroom and apply there. I'm going to show you a bit how to use all of the features for Google Forms, and then we'll look at some other ways that you could use them too. Most of this presentation will be on the features and the tools that are available to you though, because really the sky's the limit and your own creativity is the only thing that's going to stop you from using it. So without further ado, today all students will learn about different ways to use Google Forms and make their own Google Form to improve their pedagogy. Pedagogy, up to you. All right, before we start, take this quick Google form. I'll throw it in the chat. Yeah, Charlene, I see your chat. All right, so go take that. It'll take you a couple of minutes. I'll do it too. Lauren, you got to do it too, okay? You don't have to watch the video, but you can if you want. It's just an example. I know you guys are probably like, oh man, I came here to learn not to do work. Just give me a heads up when you guys are done. Take your time, no stress. Enjoy it as much as you want to. Cool. Lauren's done. Charlene's done. All right, I'm assuming Kelly's pretty much there. So the best way to get good answers is to ask good questions, right? I know we always say there are no stupid questions, but there are smarter questions. So, and how you ask it will yield you better results usually. A lot of that depends on the person answering it too. But hey, you got to set yourself up for greatness. So there are different types of questions that you can ask in Google Forms, and I'll go over these and I'll demonstrate them for you. You can throw in images, you can throw in videos, they can be multiple choice, they can be multiple selection, they can be linear. There's all kinds of different ways that you can get information back to you so that you can refer to it later. So I'm not going to mess with this travel trivia, so I have a sample one that I can make. So one way to make a Google form, just to get to it, I like to start in my Google Drive. You can also go to forms.google.com. But if I'm in my Google Drive, I know what folder I'm putting it in, so it's easy for me to get started. So I go over here, add the new, click, and we got an untitled form. I'm going to call it Google Form Demo. Cool. And the cool thing is it changes right here. This is, for the description, this is a demonstration of how to use the features, not features, in Google Forms. Forms. And you can change how it looks too. There's a bunch of different ways, whether it's link, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's up to you. So here's our first question, and we'll go over different ways to use this area afterwards. There are new types of questions. They're always adding different things to any Google tool, from forms to docs, to Google Sites. Especially forms though, I think it's evolved a lot because, you know, before it was just a short answer and multiple choice and that was it. And then they started doing quizzes, and then they started adding different types of questions, and then you can add media to your Google form to enhance it and make it better. So there's always going to be new stuff coming up. Even though this is up to date, there's probably going to be new stuff, I don't know, next month, whatever. That's how tech goes, right? And we'll go over that. And one thing that they've had pretty much from the beginning is different sections. And then we'll talk about seeing responses after, okay? All right. You guys want to go? I'll let you choose since this is a small group. Do you want me to go make some sample questions, or would you rather see how to do to see the responses first?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Sample questions.
Sample questions. All right, let's go. Yeah, I was going to do that. So I already made that, right? There's different, if you click on it, like before it was just kind of like an empty thing, right? Let's go, what's your name? And the cool thing about Google, it's got AI attached to a lot of things to kind of help you generate what you want before you even want it. It's kind of scary, but cool at the same time. So because of this type of question, it read it and it's like, okay, it's definitely going to be a short answer. But the thing is, dude, there's so much different types of things that you can put in here. Paragraph, if you want them to write the story of how they got their name, I don't know, something like that. Multiple choice checkboxes, drop downs are really cool. Not a usual name, a usual name. We'll get poetic here. What's in a name? That's a Shakespeare reference. And then that'll be a drop-down menu for them to see afterwards. If we preview it, it's kind of like that, right? And that's kind of a weird way to ask that question, but hey, it is a question, right? There's other ways. File upload, I've never used this. I've seen it used, but honestly, it's easier to keep it simple and just use it like this. Linear scale is pretty cool, from 1 to 5. No name, big name. It's kind of like, how cool is your name? It is boring, super cool, right? So it gets you a range, a spectrum of different answers, and you can make it from 1 through 10, whatever. This one's kind of complicated, but this is where I used the days of the week in here. So I'll just show you kind of where that's at. And then they had different options over here. And then for each of these options, you have 3 questions or 3 answers that you can select. And that's how you would set that one up. If I click on it, you see the rows and then you see the columns. And that's how you set that question up. If I were to do that over here, and a multiple choice grid and checkbox grid are kind of the same thing, except that checkboxes, you can select more than one for each, right? So row 1 is today, tomorrow. And then column 1 is super cool. Kind of cool. Not cool. And if they were to preview this, it'd look like that. So you have a few different options, right? And the more things you add, the more columns you put. But yeah, that's just one way to use it. It's just a different way to ask the question, because sometimes you need different answers. And this one is pretty useful more for surveys, I think. The checkbox grid. Multiple choice and checkboxes are more better for quizzes and things like that. And we'll talk about quizzes later. Another type of question that you can get is simply, let's add a new question. So if you see the plus sign right here, I want this to be date. What's today's date? And then it'll automatically stamp it right here. I'm going to add another one, time. And this is good to get like kind of timestamp things. And you'll get these too in your responses, but it's just a different way to ask questions, right? And that's pretty much the different types of questions that are available to you. Any questions on the types of questions that you can ask? Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Noah. Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, don't be sorry. Okay, I got a little homework for you. You ready?
Okay.
Take this Google form. I just put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll also put a link to the slides, so you can have this presentation later if you want it.
Okay,
It'll ask
thank
you to
you.
make a copy, so it's up to you if you want it or not.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. For the others that have been here, do you guys have any questions on the types of questions that are available? You want me to demonstrate something one more time?
I'm good.
Okay, thanks, Charlene.
I actually do have a question. For
What's up?
when you're typing, when they are typing answers,
Mhm.
are you gonna go over like how you show them what the answer is?
Yep, for sure.
Like the
And
answer
there's
being-
different ways that you can even allow them to see all of the responses. You can allow them to edit their own responses if they want. It just depends on what you need it for. If it's a quiz, I would not let them edit their responses. Because then everybody would get 100% and you'd be like, what's going on in that classroom? But if it's for a survey and you want more accurate information that they can continuously update, you can do that too. So
Sorry, now that she asked that question,
Yeah.
are you gonna show us how to allow or not allow them
oh,
to
for
edit?
sure. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to show you
Okay.
all of that because that is honestly the more difficult stuff. Knowing how to add questions, not too bad. But when you get into like the back end of it, where you start messing with that kind of stuff, we're definitely going to go over that.
Can I ask, in the later on, will you be telling us how Google Forms can grade the
Mhm,
the multiple choice,
It's
survey?
like you remember Scantrons back in the day? Oh, they still use them,
No.
right? Where we had like those little skinny yet tall things where you just fill in like A, B, C, D, or E kind of thing. That's how we took our tests
Oh,
back in the
yes,
day.
yes. Uh-huh.
So that thing had a key that was all the correct answers, right?
Okay.
Same thing with this. You're going to provide it a key, so it'll automatically grade things for you, and you don't even have to like do any work. I mean, if it's a short answer, you're going to have to grade that because that's up to you. If it's
Okay.
multiple choice, that's something that can be automatically graded, right?
All right.
Yeah. Hey, work smarter, not harder. That's what I'm here for.
Yes. Okay, thanks.
But yeah, no, we'll go over that. I'm gonna go over how to set it up, and how to make it a quiz and stuff like that. Definitely. I just want to go over the basics before we get there. It's kind of like a sequential sort of journey, one stepping stone to another, right? But yeah, thanks, Charlene, and thanks, Lauren, aka I teach Sacred Hearts.
Thank you.
All right, cool. There's one other thing. If you noticed, so on the travel trivia, check this out. I had different places for you to visit, right? Depending on which one you chose, I could send you to a different section. So I had a section for every single question over here. You make sections by adding this button right here. So I'll do it in the demo for right now. I'm going to add another question and I'm going to move it. I'll just leave it right here. Pick a section. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I'm going to add a section after this. After section 1, you can continue to the next section, but that's kind of boring. You might as well just like, not even have a section really. You can go to section 2, right? And then, wait, where did that go? Oh, wait. Oh, I made this a section 1. All right, I'm gonna make more sections. I'm sorry. All right, we got section 1, 2, and 3, right? Make this required. Multiple choice, that's cool. And then this one. Where did that section go? Oh yeah, here we go. Go to section based on answer. Sorry. They always move things around, so I was looking around for it. My bad. So whenever you're in a Google tool, whether it's slides, forms, sites, docs, if you see the dots over here, whether it's up and down or sideways, click on that to get more options available to you, because they don't want to show you everything. They try to keep it simple as possible without being too simple, you know what I mean? But if you want more stuff, you can go to question section based on an answer. So this was available because you clicked on this stuff right here. So we didn't see this before, right? Because it wasn't relevant. So I want you to go to section 2. I'm actually going to get rid of this last one. I'm going to change it to, hey, oh, because it was already there. Go to section 2 or go to section 3, because that's what you're choosing afterwards, right? And that's how you would kind of navigate them where they belong, depending on what they want. And that's how I split you guys up. And I got different answers depending on where you guys wanted to go, right? Whether it was Paris, France, Japan, that looks like Tokyo, or Tahiti, and I have no idea where that is. Maybe Moorea. But yeah, and each section kind of had the same questions, but I had to modify a few things like the language and stuff like that, and a couple different pictures. But yeah, that's how you would add different sections, and one way that you can use them. Any questions on the section stuff? It gets a little complicated. That's the only part over here that I think is actually pretty complicated. Okay, cool. I'll take your silence as compliance. You can add more things other than questions, whether it's title and description, but you already kind of have that on the top. You probably more need this for the sections. You can add pictures, you can add videos, and it usually has to be like something on YouTube. If there's a specific URL, maybe you have a video in your Google Drive, you can share that. But a lot of times we just use YouTube because it's easy. Although some schools block it, which really is unfortunate. I know why, but it's such a good tool in my opinion. And then, yeah, that's kind of it for the basic features over here. You guys ready for responses? Wendy, how you doing?
Sorry, I'm still feeling, I gotta watch the video.
Oh, you don't have to watch the video. You can just, it was just an example of what to do.
Okay, I can guess.
Of
Okay.
like what can be done. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right,
I
give
mean, you're
me.
such a good student. My goodness. How dare I penalize you?
Okay, I will just guess. I'm almost done. I was
Okay,
reading.
go,
through.
go, go, go.
Okay, okay.
Don't worry, beef curry.
Okay.
All right. You can also add pictures. That's how I did the picture for right here. I added picture to each question to kind of show you a little bit about each one, right? So that's a way to enhance your Google form and make it more appealing. Or maybe you have like identify which of these is a shrub or not. And you have like a picture of a tree, a picture of a shrub, picture of a car, you know? So it's just one way to vary up your answers. So I don't know why I said shrubbery. What movie was that? I'm thinking Napoleon Dynamite has nothing to do with that. Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail, the Knights Who Say Neat. If you've ever seen it, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm off topic. All right, so Google Form demo. Back to what we're supposed to be doing, right? All right, so that's the different types of questions and things you can add to make it cooler, how to do sections, right? All right, let's go check up some results. So this one has no results, right? Okay, over here, I have 5 responses. How it shows to me, you know, the emails of the people because I asked it for you. This one, because it was multiple choice, shows 2 people want to go France, 3 people want to go Tahiti. Nobody wants to go Japan. You guys don't like sushi. What's wrong? Tahiti, why you want to go there? Oh yeah, I love that accent, man. It is beautiful. I think my favorite accent is New Zealand. those New Zealand, they just sound suave, you know? My wife and I went to New Zealand and I was just like, man, I wish I sounded like you. I just sound like an American. All right. Name the famous wave. So it kind of showed me who answered it correctly. It was not pipeline. It was Taupo. I think that's how they say it. Different ways people said this. Days of the week. And since it didn't show everything, I have to scroll side to side on this one. We got a bunch of answers for that one. Yeah, it's a 9 or a 10. Okay. And same thing for Japan. Or not same thing because nobody answered. Yeah, that was just an example at the end. All right, so cool. Check this out. Accepting responses. If you leave this open, people can submit responses as long as it's available, right? But if you're done, nobody can answer it anymore. If you go and click on that link, it's not going to let you. You can get, again, another 3 dots over here, so there's more options. You could download all the responses as a CSV file, so that is a Microsoft Excel file. You can unlink the form, make it totally unavailable. I can delete all the responses. And Lauren, this is how you're asking about printing, right? So if you go click on 3 dots, you can print all the responses and it'll come up with, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like a PDF of the responses. This does not always work. Can you guys see the PDF? Okay, that like the print menu, right? Be careful, because if you notice, this is 55 pages long. So if you have a really complicated form, it won't be long because it's gonna be everybody's responses, right? But it's just kind of an overview of what I was scrolling through before. It doesn't play too nice with printing or turning it into a PDF. Sometimes it'll cut things off. So just be aware of that. But that's one way to, I think this is actually the only way where you can print it with a summary of your responses with all of the questions as you see it in the Google form. Does that make sense? So if you want the pictures, you want the video template or not template, what's it called? Thumbnail and things like that. Yeah, it'll have that. But there's another way to get it too. So because it's a Google thing, they play nicely with other Google things. So like Google Sheets, which is the Microsoft Excel, right? And here I have everybody's responses. Hey, check that out, timestamp. Hey, mister, I turned in the quiz. Why did I get a bad grade? Well, you see, that quiz was due on 1/23 at 1, I guess 10. That's a weird time. You must think I'm in somewhere else. Oh, here we are down here. That's another day. See, this is from a past presentation. 21st of January at 10:30 in the morning, but you turned it in at 10:32. So it's late. You got a point deduction. It's like, oh, no, I turned it on time. No, you didn't. I have timestamp, bro. Got you. Technology wins. So, sorry, that was actually from personal experience. So that's one way to make sure that you got all the information you need, right? So the thing about this, as you notice, it goes really wide to the right. There's lots of different columns. That's because I asked a lot of different questions. And when you have multiple sections, it's going to have stuff for each section over here, right? So that's why complicated Google form will give you complicated results, but you still have the results, and it's just a little bit of scrolling, so it's not too bad. But yeah, that's how you show this. And printing from here, again, you go to the print icon, and you kind of fit to a width. If you do normal, it's going to spread it out like that. It's not 55 pages, so that's kind of nice. You can change it to portrait. There's different ways to mess with this, but this isn't on a printing presentation. It's about Google Forms. But yeah, that's one way to kind of like save your info. And if you want to print it, you can print it here. I'm a fan of not printing things anymore because I'm lazy. But it's here for me to look at and easily digest and dissect too. So I can go over the summary, question by question. So I have 20 different questions, right? On question 5, this is the answers that were available, and that's what people responded. I can even go by individual. So I was the first one to respond. But if I want to go look at Kelly's one, it shows me all of her answers and where she went. So that's one way to grade through student by student if you're doing like making a survey of their information, or if you're looking at their responses on a quiz and you have to go like check out what they got right, what they got wrong, and also maybe grade a short description or a short answer that they gave, right? So that's just kind of how to look at the information in different ways, whether it's individual, by question, the overall summary, stuff like that. And that's the responses. And you can also delete all responses, view in sheets. If you have a sheet already, this is a little complicated. If you have a Google Sheet set up already, and you want this brand new Google form to send its responses there, you just have to select an existing spreadsheet, and then you go find it in your Google Drive, right? I don't want to do that, so I'm going to cancel, but that's how you do that. I also like looking at Google Drive and List View because it just is a lot easier. This one is called Travel Trivia. And see, it's already on the top, and I'm already linked to it, so I don't have to worry about it, but that's how you do it. Okay.
So say if you're at the beginning of the year and you're trying to get information from parents about like their email, whether or not they want to be a chaperone, those kind of things. You can send all of that information from a Google form that they do and send it to a sheet that you've already made.
Yeah, you don't have to do that though, because whenever you have a brand new form, so for instance, this one, it's not got a sheet yet. But if I click on here, I'm going to create a new sheet.
Okay.
Right. And that's how you make that. And every response, once you create it, will go straight to that Google Sheet. Sometimes it's a little glitchy and doesn't work, and you have to select that sheet again for some dumb reason. I don't know. Google's not perfect, right? But yeah, that's how you would keep track of that information for your own reference.
And then if you used the same Google form for like different classes and you wanted to separate it out, like say it's over years and you're done with one class, but you want to use the form next year.
I would make a new sheet.
Or just copy it.
I would make a new sheet.
A new sheet.
You might even make a new Google form for each year and just put a date on it in your title, if that makes sense. So if you go to our questions, Google form demo 2023, right? And that'll actually help you, because when you title things like that, it's going to organize you a little better too.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So you can do school year 2023. Something like that, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
I do that a lot with my stuff because, like how we were talking earlier, every school year is different. You might have the same curriculum, same project, same assignments, but they're going to be different because your kids are different, right? So by customizing it in this way and attaching it to that school year, to that class, whatever it is, it's going to be better information for you and allow you to organize it better too. So that's what I would do. I would make a new Google form every school year.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to probably have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entries, and you don't need last year's parents, you know, you just want this year's parents. So that'll help you a little bit too. And I mean, we can get really complicated if you want. Oh, let's do this. All right, fine. Lauren, you made me do it. All right, you can add sheets down here for each school year, and you can title it school year 2023, you know, like that. So that's one way. If you want it all in one place, that's how I would organize it. You know what I mean? I've never did it with a Google form, so I don't know if it'll send it to this new one. It'll probably just send it to form responses right here. You know what I mean? But you can do it like this if you want, but it just gets a bit more complicated. So I haven't tried that yet. You can probably give it a try and see what happens, but I would run through like a dry test before you deliver it live. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. I would make a new form each year just because you can change the title and it makes it a little bit easier for organizational purposes. Any other questions? Remember,
I do.
there are no stupid questions.
I have a question.
What's up, Wendy?
You
Hi,
know,
Laurel, by the way.
you know the one that you say you turn off the responses or not
Yes.
accepting any responses? Let's say you have a student that's sick, and then do you turn that back on and let
Yeah.
them take it and turn it on? Okay.
Yeah, easy. So,
Okay.
this is after I submitted it. I can just turn it back on right here. Make it
Okay.
live again. Yeah.
And then turn it back off as soon as they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Because otherwise, you know, kids are naughty at times and they'll just submit a million different responses. But actually, we can get into that later. You can tell them one response only. But for surveys, I like to leave it open just so I get better information.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I love this meme. You guys remember when Bernie Sanders was running for president? I'm once again asked, I thought this was topical. You send a Google form for the 7th time because, gosh, there's always those kids, no matter how many times you tell them to do something or ask them to do it, they just don't do it. So it's a struggle, but we do it because we love them, you know? All right. You can customize your theme. That's what that little paint, what do they call those? Not an easel. Oh my gosh. Palette? Is it a palette? Who's an artsy person in here? Where you have all your paints. Anyway, that thing. You can customize it there. You can preview it. You saw me do that already. This eye. And if you hover over stuff, it often gives you the name. It looks really bad, but it is something. And settings, that's where we're going to get into other stuff that you guys are really interested, where you can limit responses and things like that. I see a chat. Laurel, you want to say hi? You don't have your speaker on. Yeah, everybody is Laurel. She's the best.
I
The
love
brains and
Google.
brawn behind this.
Google Forms is probably my number one, Googly thing.
Bro, me too. I use it all the time. So yeah, hang out, Laurel. Maybe I'll learn you something. I don't know. Probably not. You're smarter than me.
Noah's the best. Thank you, Noah.
Laurel's the best. All right, so we'll talk about customizing your theme real quick. Preview, you guys know that already, yeah? And then we'll get into the real fun stuff, which is settings and things like that. We'll talk about sharing and other ways to use Google Forms, and so on and so forth. So let's go to the fun stuff. All right. They move settings. See, they're changing stuff all the time. Oh, one other thing, undo and redo will save your life. If you make a mistake on Google, you can undo it, unlike our lives. All right, so settings is over here now. Okay. Oh, I guess let's talk about themes first. So you have, this is always changing too because they want it to make it more stylized and cool and customizable, right? You can change the type of font you have. So if you go to audio wide is fun. I love audio wide. Looks very roboto. Roboto is cool too. There's rock salt. School bell is good. Change it over here if you can tell. And you can even change how big it is. Some fonts are always smaller than others. That's just how it is. And for the text, you can change that, or like what appears over here, you can change that too. Wendy, what's your favorite font? Permanent marker? Me too. All right. So change it over here. You want it to be kind of like all in the same sort of look. So don't get too wild with it because it's going to get a little difficult. But yeah. For the header, and that's the thing that appears on the top. I don't have one right now. If you have your own, you can do that. Google has a lot of good ones. We'll choose something kind of teacherly. A book. So you insert it, pops up here. And whenever you, Google's smart, okay? Whenever you insert a picture, it's going to look at the type of colors within the picture, and it's going to alter your theme colors there. So you want more brown, tan. Yeah, I like this one. I think it looks cool. And your background, you can change it too. So it's smart like that. So that's how you kind of do the theme. And again, if you have your own video or pictures to upload, you can do it there. You can go and look, be careful what you get on the internet, but if you look for Sacred Hearts banner. Oh no, Academy. You can look in images, and a lot of times you'll find something. So this is pretty cool. I'm going to view this in a new tab. Hey, that's good quality. I like it. Save that image. Shaw banner. And then I'm going to upload it from my computer, the one I just got. No, not Kaimuki. Oops, that's from my previous presentation. That doesn't look good. Shaw banner, there we go. And it looks like that, and it's kind of already pre-set up for you. If you have another picture that's not like super wide like this, it's not going to come out good. So you want something that's pretty wide because you're only going to be able to select a snippet of it. And check this out. Because it sees the colors, it's like, oh, I see some different thematic colors that I want to choose for you. So you can alter it that way. That looks pretty good. I like that. So that's how you make your own theme. It's kind of funny that I have a Shaw themed Google form, but hey, you know, it's I Teach 808. Is Laurel still here? No, she left.
So is there a way to create, like if you had a picture, I don't know,
Yeah.
of your student, let's say, and you wanted to create that into a banner, is there an easy way to do that, or you know what I mean?
I mean, if I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I went to, this is a publicly shared picture, so we can use it. Where is it? Open image in new tab. And it's like a picture that you have already, right, Kelly? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, so if I go save this, class of 21, I'm sure they're appreciating being on my Google form. We'll go down here and then I'm going to upload that picture that I just got. Okay. Watch what happens. So you can only select a small portion of it and you're going to cut off somebody's head no matter what, right? Because of just the overall shape of it. If you have what you need in this little area, that's fine. But just know that how it is right now, somebody's going to be mad because either their hat or their eye is cut out of the picture, right? So that looks okay. If you have a picture of whatever you're going to use, Kelly, just make sure that everything you need from that picture is going to be in this wide area over here. And it's really wide, but it's also short. So it's kind of a awkward sort of frame for a picture. But if you can fit it in that area, go for it.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And it'll do it for you. That's why you saw how like you can like pick whatever area you want of it. That's how you would do it. Just make sure it's got pretty decent quality. The picture has to be bigger than 800 pixels wide in order to get looking good without looking really like blurry and junk quality.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a bit about theme. we've talked about preview. This thing looks great. I mean, look, just that, oh, that banner, unreal. You guys ready for the fun stuff? Tell you what,
Yes.
we have been going strong for almost an hour. You guys want a quick brain break, go bathroom, get a snack?
Sure.
Just because I know we're human beings and, you know, we need to do things. All right, we'll take a quick brain break. It is 10:55 on my watch. I'll see you guys at 11. So I'll give you like 5 minutes to go do something. And then we'll go over the real fun stuff, the settings. I hate to be a cliffhanger, but we need it. So yeah, go hang out for a couple minutes. I'm gonna turn off my screen because I gotta go grab a snack and some water. Is that cool? Cool answers. Yeah, right on. Okay, I'll be back. Bye. I had a musubi and I'm ready. Even though I'm yawning, I need coffee. Ah, water is good. Hot take. Yeti is the best water bottle brand. That's right, I said it. This presentation is brought to you by St. Augustine and Yeti. Yeah, Charlene, what's up? All right, you guys ready for the fun? Kelly, Wendy, you back? We had one more person.
I'm back.
Yeah, Wendy. Who's the other person? Oh, cool. Thanks, Kel. Uh, did we lose one? I think we lost one. Shucks. I am a fan of small classes though. Okay, so let's see, where were we? Settings, right? So you go into settings. Obviously over here it says settings. They used to have a button up here. It's always changing. You can make it a quiz. Okay. So for instance, I'm gonna turn this into a quiz. And when you click on that, things will come up that weren't options before. So you can release the grades at a specific time. Immediately after each submission, you can let respondents know if they missed questions, correct answers, point values, so they can know what they got after. And this is where you determine the point value. So like say it's a 10-question quiz, 10 points, right? And that's how you would make it a quiz. You can turn that off later. We'll leave it on right now, and it still saves everything I just had. So for the responses, this is where you collect all email addresses. You know, you ever got a form where it asks you for your email twice because they both made it a question and then they turn this on? If you do this, you don't have to ask, hey, what's your email at the beginning of the form? It'll do it for you. It'll force them to log in a lot of times too, so just be aware of that. You can send them a copy when requested or always. And that's good for quizzes so that they can see their answers, right? And it's good to keep for their records and so on and so forth. You can allow them to edit it, which is kind of cool. And if they're logged into the same email, they should be able to go back in and edit. So, and you can also limit them to one response. So you don't have one person sending you 5,000 responses to the quiz. And you're just like, I'm gonna give you an F for being irritating. But this is super helpful, especially for quizzes, okay? For the presentation, it comes up with different options here too. Progress. So if you noticed in the travel trivia one, when you're going through, there was a progress bar on the bottom showing you what percentage you were done with it, right? I don't have mine open anymore, so I can't show you. But yeah, that's what it would look like, or that's where that comes in. And it's like, I've had some forms that took me like 15 minutes. Like it was a big survey for some company. They're looking for feedback, giving you an Amazon gift card. But dude, that survey was long. And the progress was only going up bit by bit. But it was nice to see that I was getting close to the end when I was getting there. You know, I was like, I don't want to quit, but I was at like 80%. Here's a cool one. Kind of like how they do on AP tests or SATs or something like that, where they have different versions of a test to shuffle the question order. So it's not like you're looking over somebody's shoulder. They're going to have a different set of questions for you. So even if you have the same answers as them, you're going to get it wrong. So you can shuffle the question order and it'll automatically do it for every single student. And this helps you save from cheating, looking over shoulders and things like that. You can confirm your message. So, hey, good job, you, whatever. You know? Job, no, job. Oh boy, don't say job. Show a link to submit another response if they want to do it again. This will only turn on if I get rid of this, right? And you can show that link if you want. It's up to you. Just depends on where you're using it for, right? But if it's a quiz, I would highly suggest limiting to one response. You can disable autosave. I don't know why you would do that, but hey, you can do it. And here's some default things that you can mess with. Collect email addresses by default. And I think if you change it here, it'll be defaulted for everything after. And then make questions required by default. So every single question, like if I go look at the questions, you can require a response in each row, I guess, but let's just go look at required. See this over here? If you click required, then every single person has to answer this before they finish the form. If they don't answer this and they try to submit it, it'll say, hey, go back up here and do this thing, okay? And that's super helpful for you to make sure that you get what you need to get. But that's kind of it for the settings. The ones that I would recommend paying extra attention to is make this a quiz when you're doing a quiz. And I'll show you how to do the keys afterwards too. Limiting responses. You can give them an always. Allow response after editing. Probably not for a quiz, right? Because then everybody would get perfect scores. And then limiting to one response. All right, any questions about that before I go show you about the key?
Quick question. I know you
Yo.
said that the students can type in the date so that we know that they're actually taking the test on or quiz on that date.
Mhm.
But is there a way that when they submit their quiz that they're done, that it's automatically date stamped?
Yeah, it will be actually. So whenever, I'll show you this one again. So when I viewed it in Sheets, I didn't ask you for the date on this, but it timestamps every single thing that was submitted automatically. So they could lie if they want, but you know, maybe this is you testing their honesty.
Okay, I'm just wondering because
Yeah, I know.
what if they say like, okay, you asked for the time, but they put in a time that they know it's before the due date.
Mm.
So I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if, you know, it will be automatically date stamped when they submit.
I hear you, and that's super helpful. Definitely want to automatically timestamped, and it does
Okay.
do that. I think now that looking at that kind of question, it's more like if you have a question that's relevant to like, hey, what time did this event happen in the movie, or what was the date that President Lincoln was murdered, if that's the type of quiz you're trying to do, you know what I mean?
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's what I think it would be useful for. Otherwise, if you're trying to make an appointment, perhaps, like, hey, what time do you want to meet with me and on what day, right? If you're doing office hours, that would be a
All
good
right.
use of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sorry. Yeah, for sure. Any other questions on this kind of stuff? Oh my God. Sorry, just really funny. My mother-in-law was changing my son's diaper and I think she got the golden shower. I just heard the screaming in the background and that's recorded. Oh boy. All right, gotta go edit that one out, okay? All right. All right, let's go talk about keys. Okay. Where's a multiple choice one? Did I give you guys one? All right. So this is 10 points, right? And then over here, not over here, where did I'm gonna add one up here. We'll just do it from scratch. Is that cool? Option 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, check this out. Over here in the bottom left of the question, you have your answer key. It's got 10 points for each question, which is actually kind of weird. You can change that over here. We'll do 1 point. So what you do here is you pick the correct answer. I'm just going to choose sec 1, and then it'll go through and make sure that every single it'll go through and grade every single response after this automatically based on the correct answers that you provide. If you do this for a checkboxes, you can choose more than one, right? Oh yeah, I guess look at the answer key too. So option 2 is another correct answer. So that's how you do that. And that way it grades it for you, especially if it's multiple choice, it's like automatic. Don't even have to go through and go check, 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 check. That's the old school ways. People, we got Google Forms now to do everything for you. Not everything, but they grade things for you, which is super helpful. Of course, if it's a short answer, you have to go through and grade it yourself. It cannot do anything other than multiple choice, or it can do the grids, linear scales. But the linear scale, I think, is more for like a survey. I don't think you could use that on a quiz. A drop down, you could do it. And a drop down, you can do what I guess multiples as well. It's kind of like a checkbox. But yeah, that's how you'd use that. You guys want me to do that for you one more time? You good on making a key? Nope.
Quick question. So if you, so say they had to respond to like, Abraham Lincoln was shot in whatever
Yeah.
date it was. And if that was a response, would I be able to put that in the answer key so that it could correct it? No?
Let's just say, what day was he shot? I don't even remember.
I'm not sure.
Go 1, 1 or 1, 2. Bro, when was that? I just can put 900. I don't even know. When was America made? America? Oh God, I'm not a history teacher. Don't judge me.
Neither am I.
Yeah, it's probably gonna start looking for this. I don't know, or I don't know. See that kind, it's not like there's a single answer.
Okay.
It has to probably go look at text, and it's not that smart, you know?
All right.
So that's, I think, if you want to do like that date kind question, you should say, what day was this thing on? And then I wouldn't choose date. I would give them a multiple choice today. So 1/1/2022, and then give them another date, and they have to pick which date, you know what I mean? In a
Oh,
multiple
okay.
choice rather than typing it in.
Okay, got it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's what I would do. But yeah, that's kind of how to make quizzes and make your own answer key to make your life easier. Any questions on that? Because we got about, what, 18, 17 minutes left? All good questions. All right. We've talked about how to make questions, how to do responses, how to go through settings, how to make a quiz. You can customize your theme, you can preview it, you can go back, you can go forward. Over here, you can move it, but everything in Google is a file that's somewhere, so you can organize it this way too. But say I want to move this somewhere else, it gives me all of the folders I have over here. And I don't really want to move it, so I'm just going to leave it where it's at. The other things that I would be careful, you can move it to trash if you like it. Don't do that. Anything in trash, by the way, in a Google Drive is usually good for 30 days. And after that, they trash it, like really trash it. Printing, we've gone over printing. adding collaborators is cool. Say Lauren is working with Charlene and they want to make a Google form for a class that they share. Maybe they teach the same subject both through 3rd grade, right? Maybe they have the same kind of assignment, like, hey, I made this, try adding questions that you think might be needed, and they can go back and forth and make the world's best Google form quiz, right? So that's how you add people in. You just have to type in their emails here. But yeah, that's more how to do that. I don't really add collaborators too much, just because I do it for myself, but it's totally fine. Add-ons, there are different ways to do add-ons. I just keep it kind of simple because a lot of these are okay, but I think there's nothing really that's an add-on I've seen that helps me as a teacher, so I don't mess with it much. And I don't browse them all the time, but I have taken deep dives and I haven't really found anything. If you want to get really nerdy, you can edit the script. Don't. Just don't. And here's where you get fun. Yay. How to send it. All right. You can send it as an email. That works. You just have to type out a bunch of emails. You can send it as a link. 99% of the time I do it like this, and I'll shorten it and copy and paste that. If you have a website, you can copy this into your website, but also if you have a Google site, you can just drag over the form. It's really easy. This is more like you're coding your own website using HTTP or HTML, sorry, HTML. Don't worry about this too much.
Where
But the
was
best
that?
way,
Sorry, where was that icon to send the form?
I'll get you in the top right when
Oh.
you're in questions or anywhere. It
Sorry.
says send. No, don't be.
Okay.
And then see, the thing is when you shorten it, it changes the link every time. So it might be the same form, but a different link, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they do that. Copy that and send it, whether you're on Google Classroom, whether you're on your own website, emailing it to people, because you probably have email lists as a teacher, right? Where you have all the kids' emails or the parents' emails. I can see elementary, you could probably use this, but having the kids all find it in an email and click on it, I don't know, maybe not.
If the collect emails box is checked, does that mean all their emails are registered?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep. And whatever email they're signed into. Usually is
Okay.
how it goes.
and
They might
that's where
have,
the link will go.
yes.
That's where the link will go.
Oh, if you're sending it through an email, then yeah, it's gonna go to that. It's whatever you, however you decide to send it, because the link is just a link, right? It's up to you how you want to send it and share it, right? But if it's a survey, that's definitely great for the parents. That's easy. It just depends how you want to use it. You can connect it to Twitter and Facebook, which I've never done, but hey, it's available. All right. And that's how you would send it out. And yeah, collecting emails right here. I've never unchecked that. Wow, that's good catch, Charlene. Good catch. But yeah, that's kind of how to send it, how to make it. One thing I'd recommend, and this is extra, is a bit.ly. There's other ways. You can, I have an account, but you can sign up and you can make custom bit.ly links, right? So you go over here, create a new link, and then you put in whatever that long one is. And then what you can do over here, because you have an account here, is form demo. You can change it there. I'm not going to save it because I don't want to reserve this, but when you make this, it's like a custom link for your form, and that way they don't have to type in, what was it? This, because that's impossible. You know what I mean? So bit.ly is super helpful for that. And there's other places you can make custom URLs too. But yeah, that's what one recommendation I would do. And that wasn't in my slides or anything. It was just something on the side. All right, so how to use it. Quizzes for sure. It auto completes answers because it's getting smarter. So it's like guessing what you're going to say before you say it. We talked about keys. So there's lots of different ways to use forms, and I've seen them used in all different levels of the school, from getting information from faculty and staff, parents and guardians, students. I've seen them used as evaluations when admin are evaluating a teacher so that they can take their notes right on a Google form because it sends it straight to the sheet afterwards, right? Signing up for volunteer work, right, Lauren? Worksheets. It's kind of like a quiz, but not really because it's usually more short answers. Surveys, we talked about that. I use a temperature check all the time, and here's my example. Just like, especially during COVID, I came up with this, and teaching from abroad, I didn't see all my kids' faces all the time. They turned their cameras off. But this was totally like nobody else around, just sending it back to me. So I found them to be more honest when they were giving me a temperature check in this way. Like, hey, how are you feeling? How's your day going? Are you stressed out? What's going on? And they would be really honest with me. And I would always give like a little short answer afterwards too. So that they could like maybe elaborate on something if they wanted to. But yeah, this is a good way to use it. I liked it a lot. I use it almost every week, sometimes multiple times a week, just to kind of see how my kids are doing. And you don't have to do it like for social and emotional learning kind of stuff. You can also use it for, hey, how far did you get on this assignment? I finished it, mostly, kind of started. I didn't even start. I did that and I got all kinds of answers because the kids were, they felt safe in answering because they knew it was coming straight to me kind of thing. So that's one way to use it. I've seen them used as sign in and sign out. So you know that date stamp you're talking about? My teacher friend uses it as a bathroom log, like who goes and when. And they did a bit.ly where they made a QR code that's linked to this. And then the students use their phones to complete the form every time they come in and out of the room. So that's a timestamp legally tracking where your students are or when your students are in and out of your classroom. I'm not that OCD, but I probably should be, and it would be pretty helpful. You can do a tardy tracker this way. A lot of our schools already have tardy trackers. Just by, hey, make sure you do your attendance every day kind of thing. You can do a parent guardian contact log so that whenever you call a parent or a guardian, you're just filling this out as you're talking to them about like feedback from the conversation. And this is really good when a parent tries to come at you and be like, get you in trouble for something. It's like, no, dude, we talked about this. I have timestamps. I have notes on the conversation. It's right here. And I've even seen these as like a differentiation kind of thing for IEP students or students with IEPs. If they have an adjusted learning plan or whatever it might be, there's an evidence log. Anytime something happens or you do it every day, like, hey, how's this kid doing? How's their reading progress coming? So on and so forth, right? Or how's their behavior today? And you can just have this log and your admin will greatly appreciate it. They'll be like, I have no qualms with you. You are staying out of trouble and it's really helping us a lot. So it's just, what questions are you going to ask? How are you going to answer them? And what is it for? But any way that you have to store data that you're getting from somebody else, Google Forms is the way you can go. There's so much uses for it and it's just up to your creativity. Here's a couple other links that I found useful. You can go and check them out. And even if you just Google like, you'll come up with a whole bunch of stuff. It's just, there's a billion different ways. It's just up to you to kind of figure it out. I just wanted to make sure I helped you guys get with the features so that you can use it for your own purposes and give you some ideas of what to do. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for the presentation. I just wanted to make sure that you guys got through the basics, as well as the settings, because we talked about that a bunch, and that's really important to make sure that you avoid cheating, you avoid unfair advantage, and then you make sure that everybody can see it for what it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. So, you guys got any questions? You want me to talk about something else? Tell you a dad joke?
If you have time after everybody
Yeah.
answers, sorry, I'm an old school paper pencil teacher. Can you show me
Oh, no.
one more time how to start a form from scratch? Like if I
Okay.
don't have a copy?
Yeah, for sure. Easy. I can do that right now. Anybody else got any questions though? Just because Charlene mentioned it. Okay. I'm gonna put my email in the chat, so if you ever have any questions, feel free to email me. This is my school email. I check it all the time because I'm OCD about it. But yeah, feel free to shoot me a question if you want me to give you some opinions on a Google form you made or something. I don't know. Yeah, happy to help. Charlene, I'll answer your question right after this, okay? Lauren, if you want to wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah, if there aren't any more questions. Awesome. All right, well, mahalo to Noah for his presentation and all of you guys for your participation. We hope you found the session helpful and made some valuable connections. So special thanks again to our sponsors, Sacred Hearts Academy Honolulu and Augustine Educational Foundation for making this conference free this year and for the past 10 years. If you could, please help us complete the survey on the website iteach808.com, and I will send it into the chat too. So we can continue to receive our grant funding. You will also receive a certificate of participation after completing this survey, and you'll automatically be entered to win one of 10 $10 Target gift cards if you complete the survey before February 4th. The survey will also be sent to the email address that you guys registered with. So please make sure to check your email and check your spam folder in case it went there for any emails from iTeach 808 Hawaii. Thanks for being here again today. Feel free to enjoy other sessions we have coming up next Saturday. Have a wonderful day.